Hey guys, it's Kismet. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you guys how I plan a cosplay from start to finish. I'm going to start with setting up your page. So currently I am using I believe this is just like a regular lectern jokes. I actually got a brand new bullet journal just for cosplay. This is from the brand Yop and Tom, link in bio. So I use a full spread for my planning. One side of it is going to be dedicated towards sort of visuals, aesthetics, and then the other side is dedicated to lists. So I'm actually going to start with choosing who we are going to be planning. I'm kind of caught between Starfire from Odyssey and doing Katra, one of her looks. Like, this looks pretty cool, or you know what, why don't we do Starfire Odyssey? Let's go with that. So this, I actually don't know if this is fan art or if this is official art. It honestly looks like it could be either. It is gorgeous, but it is true to the Odyssey design. So the thing is, when doing this kind of stuff, you do want to gather quite a few different angles. Let's just go with this one. That's really pretty, and it gives you a good idea of like where the lines go on all of her armor. Oh, my babes, I love them so much. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the lists. Jokes again, we're actually gonna start with putting these pictures in. So this I just printed out on some sticker paper that I got from Staples. It's way better than gluing it in with a glue stick or some scotch tape or something. These other little pictures are more just to establish like an aesthetic or a vibe, if you will. So I went ahead and stuck those in as well. Wrote the name of the costume, sort of like the title, and did it in pen. The first list that we're going to make is a piece list. This is something that I took from my time in theater doing costuming. It is really, really helpful to have a breakdown of every single individual piece that you are going to need with this costume. Not only does this help you conceptualize how many different pieces you're going to have to make, how much work you're going to have to do, sort of the breakdown of the costume. Later on, it also doubles as a very helpful packing list if you're taking it to a convention. So looking at this, I can tell that we are going to need a base bodysuit. We're going to need like some thigh-high shoe situations. We're going to need some bracers, some shoulder pieces, maybe a separate neck piece just for ease of transport, not having that attached to the rest of the bodysuit. There's also a possibility that I'll have something on the back. We're also going to need a wig and contacts. Other than that, it doesn't look like she has a ton of like jewelry, rings, earrings, any of those kinds of details. But if she did, even if I planned to store buy them, this is where I would put them. So if she had a ring, I would put ring on this list. Okay, so next up to the right of that, we have the shopping list. This is going to be both things that you're purchasing for the costume and you're just either gonna straight use or modify. This is also gonna be things like your fabric, your wig, any paint that you need to buy, she's gonna need some resin for her gems. This is where I'm going to put that list. Now, I do think, looking at this costume, I am probably going to use a mix of foam and or Warbler for all of those metal pieces, but I know for a fact that I do already own those items, so I'm not going to put them on my shopping list. Okay, next up, this is the weird list I was talking about, that it's one list 2 times. So the first part of this list is your budget. So with this list, what I do is I look at my shopping list and I sort of categorize things. I'll categorize like wig and contacts, I'll typically put into one category. I'll put fabric. So looking at Starfire, it looks like you're gonna need some purple fabric. And I do have some sites that I like. A lot of times I will use Etsy shops just because I like supporting small businesses. But a lot of times too, Fabric Wholesale I have ordered from before. The only problem with shopping online is that you can't see it in person first. You can't like feel the material, feel how heavy it is, that kind of thing. So even if you want to go into a store in person, if you want to go to a Joann's or your local fabric shop, this is a good way to get an idea of the type of fabric you might want and also the price of what that type of fabric is. I'm thinking like a cotton for the front and then maybe like a velvet for the sides. Okay, so here's some good, oh, I like this dark purple. But scrolling through here with velvets, I can kind of see that an average is probably around $5, maybe $8. I'm gonna say it's gonna be $8 a yard. I'm going to estimate a full yard because one, that gives me some extra room to mess up with. And this is a fabric that I really, really like and I know I will use for future projects. A lot of times when I have some excess fabric, I'll go through and I'll make dice bags or hair scrunchies for my friends. I'm even making masks right now for COVID. So I'm going to estimate $8 a yard and 1 yard. So that's $8 for the purple velvet. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't know what that means. Okay, so it's a 4-way stretch. It has a color that I like here. So this is, again, $8 a yard. So this fabric I'm going to use not only for her bodysuit, but also for her shoes. I tend to go really overboard with my estimations in fabric. It's better to have more than less. So for this, I'm going to estimate about 2 yards. So that's going to be about $24. So that is all of the fabric that I think I'm going to be needing. If you add that all up, that is about $50 for our fabric. Okay, next I'm going to look into like a resin kit. So yeah, I think this is pretty close to what I would buy. It's $20. And I'm actually gonna round it up to $25 because I might wanna buy some pigments for it. I might need to pay for shipping if I need to order it online. So I'm just gonna round it up. You'll notice a pattern that I tend to round up. I give myself much more of a budget than I need. And that way I can prepare for the worst. Hopefully I can sort of cut costs in other places. It ends up being less than I'm estimating. Green mesh contacts. I would love to get, yeah, like that. Please research websites that you order contacts from. You only get 1 pair of eyes. Be precious with them. Let's talk about this wig. Starfire's wig haunts me. Like, people are so incredibly talented and they do amazing things, but I am terrified of this wig because not only is it very, very long and therefore pretty terrible to manage, it is also ombre. Like, it's supposed to look like fire. From my research, I have found that one of the best methods is to get a long, high quality, like a yellow wig, and then you dip dye ombre it so that it looks really cool. And you have to buy the lightest color on your wig because you can't dye things lighter. You would have to bleach it. And with synthetic wigs, a lot of times that doesn't work. But let's look up long yellow wig. Okay, so there are some Amazon wigs you can look at. I will say I have had some good luck with Amazon wigs. However, this is straight up stolen off of Gothic Lolita wig / Rockstar wigs. I can't remember who the parent company is anymore. It is straight up stolen off their website. Look at the reviews. The reviews is a really great place to go. Look at the pictures that are left in reviews. However, I do want to look at some wig stores. I guess I don't need a lace front, but I always prefer it. Let's look at the Anne. Hi, this is now my webcam. I'm just going to use this while my big camera charges because it just died. I'm sad, guys, because I know this is what I want. It's $110. But I will say, when you're doing cosplay, the things to invest in are the wigs. I'm going to budget out $115 because of shipping. I have some time to look for some coupon codes, maybe wait for some sales. Typically what I'll budget out for a pair of shoes is around $50. If you make shoe covers and boot covers, you can buy a pair of shoes and use that pair of shoes over and over and over and just take them in and out of the boot covers. I think I'm just going to use my own shoes, which means for shoes, my budget is $0. Okay, so I think that's it. Oh, you know what? She do be orange. What is that? I'm kind of liking this lighter one. I'm going to budget out $15 for the shipping. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add this all together and put a total at the bottom of this list. Okay, so that comes to a total of $235. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another $50 onto that for just extras. If shipping is more than I thought, or if I need to get like some little earrings or just some extra buffer space, which brings our total to $285. So now what you're going to do is directly below that list, you're going to essentially repeat the same items without the prices. This is your cost list. So when you actually order these items, you're going to write down what you actually ended up paying for them. If I end up spending way more on fabric than I thought I was going to, I can then maybe pull out of another category or maybe just even use up that extra money. So the last and final list, it's not really a list yet, it's going to become a list, I guess. I make a line next to the budget and cost lists, and I put hours. This is where I log the time spent making this costume. It gives me a good baseline, you know, an idea of like, is this gonna take 10 hours or is this gonna take 100 hours, you know? So when I fill this out, what I'll do is I'll put the date and then I'll put just like an average of how many hours I worked on this. Here is what a finished spread kind of looks like. This was Jester Lavore. You can kind of see what I mean by the sticker paper being so much better than using Scotch tape. So there's my piece list, shopping list. I ended up doing about 50 hours for this costume and only $188, which is way under my budget. Here's a flip through of some of the other costumes that I have planned using this method. And there's our girl Starfire. Anyways, guys, that is how I plan a costume. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'm excited to see if anybody else uses this method. If you do, please tag me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!